So it shows you how synchronicity is working and how energy is working. So tonight, what I wanted to talk a little bit about, and this is something we've been experiencing a lot and with a lot of clients as well, is dealing with the past and your old stuff. And dealing with your patterns in the past and what's going on and how this is all affecting us and how we're going forward. And basically looking at how you can adjust yourself and let go of the past, which is the hardest thing for humans to do. Because the problem we have is with this is the past is your identity. That's who you think you are. You think you're the, I think I'm the depressed kid who got no love and attention and who felt bad about himself his whole life. That was my identity, growing up. That was how I felt, and over years and years of doing work, but still hold some of that energy as I go forward. We also, as I was talking about last month, we had 2 visits in a row from family. We're from New York, so we had a January, February back-to-back extravaganza at our house. And of course, to help us bring up some unresolved feelings that were not quite cleared. So it was a very interesting experience, and of course experiencing it from a different energy perspective and also understanding it now, being away from it. So it was really interesting to do that. But right away, bringing that energy back into your life kind of created some issues for us. We both kind of went through some stuff, my son too. I had a couple of episodes after my mother left and my sister. And I said, my God, where did that come from? And that was old energy that was kind of hanging around that had to be dealt with. So for us going forward, this is really, I think, the hardest part of this transition to moving into your higher self, your enlightened self, your self-love, really getting up into that space, is letting go of your old identity and letting go of who you think you are. And this is a very difficult challenge for us as human beings because it's disruptive on so many levels, and one of those levels really is, it really disrupts your whole belief system. Because you grew up a certain way, you grew up with a certain religion, you grew up with a certain right and wrong, you grew up with all these different things that you grew up with, and all of a sudden you start doing this work, and you start to say, wait a minute, that's what I learned, but it's not congruent with this, or this, now my belief system is changing, and now I see things in a different way. So even though you're moving forward and you're open, and all of you are in a different place, you say, wow, I'm really ready to make changes, you still have all that old, I remember the Catholic school nuns, I remember all that stuff, I remember hearing all those stories, I remember, being yelled at, I remember getting in trouble, I remember being called a sinner every 5 minutes, I remember that stuff. You don't forget it. So now what's happening is you're starting to shift out of that belief system, you're creating a big disruption of your energy field, because your energy field is kind of like saying, well, wait a minute, this is my whole story here. Who has a story? Everybody, right? So and the thing is, we have a story, that's who we are, we think, and we like to keep telling the story, and we like to hold ourselves in the story, and we like to be the story. So now, when you go forward, so think about this, if I said to you now, starting tomorrow, I want you to take your whole life, your whole past, and forget about it. What are you going to talk about? What are you going to talk about?
Where I'm going.
Thank you very much. So that's what we want to do. So the past has only one purpose, only one. And the purpose of the past is to give you wisdom. That's it. That's it. So the whole idea of the past was your karmic journey. That's your journey, your emotional journey that you're here to take. And you want to pull all of the wisdom out of those experiences so you understand yourself at a different level. That's what it's all about. The past has no other purpose. It doesn't serve you any other purpose. But